Good afternoon, everyone. And for those of you catching this on the replay, my name is Janae of janaeam.com. I'm an online business owner, and I teach people how to manage their money through my digital info products and online programs. This month, in the month of June, is National Home Ownership Month. So in honor of National Home Ownership Month, I launched my online course, The Blueprint, to help people prepare for home ownership. So as you come in, say hello and let me know where you're joining from so I can greet you. And if you learn something, or if you know somebody who is looking to buy a home for the first time, tag them in the comments. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them live. And if you're catching this on the replay, feel free to put your questions in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. So all throughout this month, I'll be sharing tidbits that I include in my online course to help you with preparing for home ownership. So I specifically help those people that are either buying a home for the first time, or they're going to buy a home and they get denied getting a mortgage loan because they have too much debt and they don't have enough savings. So those are the people that this course is ideal for. And so today we're talking about this whole week, the theme was, what can you afford? And so today we're talking about repair costs. So in case you did not know, on average, the hidden cost of home ownership is right around $9,000. So this is all money that people don't expect to have to pay out for their home, that they realize later that they have to pay for. So that's the average. And so this week I've been talking about different costs that's associated with buying a home. So that way you're not blindsided. You can do your research ahead of time. So that way when you go through the process of buying your home, you know what to expect and what to be prepared for. And so in my course, I literally list them out, like all of them. We kind of touched on some and lumped them all together, but if you do enroll in the course, you will get all the costs that are associated with home ownership and how much specifically you need to be budgeting each month for those expenses. So we're going to talk about, with repair costs, how much you should be budgeting for it overall, and then things that you should be considering. So when it comes to repair costs, again, I just said earlier that the average hidden cost of home ownership is around $9,000. And there's specific stats for each city on how much that amount actually is. So it fluctuates, when you go from city to city. So San Francisco, they have their cost is, I believe, is higher than the average. So it varies from city to city, but on average, overall, across the United States, the average hidden cost of home ownership is about $9,000. So what does that mean? So when you're going to purchase a home, you need to factor in repair costs. So you should be planning to budget 1% of the purchase price of the home. I'll say that again. You should plan to budget each year 1% of the purchase price of your home. So if you buy a home that's $150,000, you need to be budgeting $1,500 a year for repair costs. Now that's whether you have to use the funds or not. You should be putting this aside, because if you look at, there are many things that can go wrong in your home, from appliances breaking down to bad storms and siding coming off the house, needing a roof replacement. So the cost for each repair or project, because that varies, because you're already planning to put aside this money each year, when you have these things that come up, you already have money set aside. So that way you won't have to pull money out of your emergency fund, or pull money out of your, vacation fund, or pull equity out of your home, or use a credit card. So that's why you should be factoring this into your budget. Now, what that means is, based on your income, if you can't afford to put away 1% of the purchase price of that home, then you need to be looking for a cheaper home, because you need to be putting these funds away. Because even with homeowners insurance, even with it's a care plan that you can get to take care of some of the higher level maintenance around the home. The name of it is escaping me. There's homeowners insurance and home warranty. They have exclusions, and so they cover most things, but like with the flooding that happened in Houston, Texas, some people were out of luck because there was a exclusion that did not allow them to file their claim or get their claim approved. So and you'll be surprised. The language is very specific, and not all the time will those companies, whether it's your homeowner's insurance company or your home warranty company, they won't always replace what is wrong in your home. For instance, I was at a home buyer's workshop, and an inspector got up to speak, and he was talking about how a family, they lived in a basement. The basement got flooded, and because they did not have a sump pump in the basement, the insurance company denied their claim. So in that particular policy, it was required for you to have that sump pump in order for you to get your claim approved. So there's very specific language in these policies, and so that's why you want to make sure you have your own funds, so that way you don't get stuck. So I recommend you put away 1% of the purchase price of the home that you're buying. And if you're unable to put that away because it's too much money, then you need to find a cheaper home. So what are some things you should consider when it comes to repair costs? The first thing is the age of the home. So my house was built in 1999, and it was renovated. So I know for me, I needed something that was turnkey and move-in ready, because I'm not a handy person. I'm not a DIY person. I'm somebody that's pretty much in and out. I need everything done, convenient, low maintenance. And so that worked for me. I moved into my house. I didn't have to paint anything. All I had to do was move my furniture in, move my kitchen stuff in, and I was ready to roll the next day. Now, for some people who like older homes, then you need to be prepared for the things that you may deal with in an older home, such as maybe faulty wiring because the house has been around for a long time. Maybe the insulation may not be that great. And actually for newer homes, that may be a thing because a lot of the walls are really thin. But with older homes, I know that the gas bill and the utility bills can be pretty high because a lot of those historical homes have really high ceilings and things like that. So you need to consider the age of the home, because if it's older, then you might have to put aside, some more money to provide TLC for that home. So if you get an older home, I would definitely recommend you save at least that 1% of the purchase price. Now, if you're buying a newer home, just because you're buying a newer home doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have to shell out money right away. Because my cousin, she bought a home and it was literally built from the ground up. She customized it. And after a year, when her warranty with the builder expired, her house started to go on a slant. So it was something in the ground that wasn't right. And so that was something completely unexpected. And one would assume that because a home is brand new, that nothing will be wrong with it, that everything will be okay. But that's not necessarily the case. So which leads me to number 2, you need to know the condition of your home. And that's why home inspections are important. So the first thing we talked about was the age of the home is something you should consider when thinking about repair costs, and also the condition of the home. So age doesn't necessarily mean anything, but because of the age of the home, you should at least consider what could go wrong, and you want to make sure that you're saving for that. So the first thing you should consider when it comes to repair costs is the age of the home. The second thing is the condition of the home. And then the last thing is your ability to fix things around the house. So I talked about myself. Even with my home having renovations, like my doors, some of my doors, they're not fitted to the door frame. So like it shifted a little bit. So I have to get the doors kind of resized before I move to Texas. So that way, whoever's leasing my home, they can close the door all the way. Now, because I'm just kind of like in and out, it doesn't really bother me because I don't have a need to close the doors. But I know that I'll need to have that adjusted before, whoever comes in to lease it. I didn't necessarily have any issues. So that's great for me. So if you're somebody like me, then you don't want to take on a home renovation project. You don't want to take on a home that needs work, because you'll have to pay for those renovation costs. And if you're doing it yourself, that's time, that's money that you'll have to shell out. And if you're not prepared for that, that's not a good idea. So you want to consider you as a person, like what do you prefer? Can your life support being able to do projects in the home? Because if you're unable to do that, or if you don't want to do that, then you need to plan to buy a home that's move-in ready and does not need any TLC. And going back to the condition of the home, you want to also make sure that you are mindful of your appliances and the things in your home when they were installed, because you want to make sure that you're planning to have the funds in place when those appliances get towards the end of its life. Now, a lot of appliances, their life is between like 15 and 20 years, I believe. So you for sure want to make sure that you have money aside to be able to replace those things, because it can get pretty pricey. So that's another thing with the condition of the home. So you want to make sure that you're considering your lifestyle and you as a person, and you want to make sure that you're purchasing a home that fits your lifestyle. Otherwise, it can get to be a headache and annoying, and you want to make sure that you plan for the house that you're going to buy based on the lifestyle you plan to live. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, this information and additional information to help you with preparing for home ownership is included in my online course that is available. I put the link in the comments in the description of this video. So you can go there to learn more and enroll. If you have any questions and you're catching this on the replay, just drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. And thank you all for tuning in. Please share this if you haven't already, or tag someone that you know is trying to buy a home. And I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.